Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the boat shop. As you can kind of see, we got the forward posts for the cabin figured out and fixed. And I wanted to get those done yesterday with the help of a buddy of mine. So a big shout out to Tony for giving me a hand. Basically, the problem is that on the forward part of the boat, the cabin is somewhat swept forward to frame C, whereas on the back it's just going to be flat along the bulkhead. And I'll kind of show you what that means, unless you already figured it out, and then I don't mean to insult your intelligence. This post here, as well as the one on the port side, is recessed back about, I think it was 8 inches. Yeah, it was 8 inches back from frame C, which is right here. And that's because right here, going along from this post to that post, is going to be a window, a forward window at that angle. I don't know if it was done for aesthetics, but that's what the plans called for. So that was just kind of trying to figure that out and how to figure out where the angles were and all that on the plans, and then how far back those studs needed to be. It was a bit of a learning curve, but we got it, and I'm pretty pleased with the process, with how things panned out. And then on the forward end here, you can see that I've got the frames for the forward door, so this will lead out onto the forecastle from the cabin. And once again, that's kind of where we sit right now, or at least that's kind of where we stopped off yesterday. They're all epoxied in place. They're notched and epoxied in place, to include on the bottom. They're all epoxied right onto the hull. So yeah, that's a good thing. So today, what does that mean? And well, I guess maybe the better question is, why didn't I shoot video yesterday? Well, yesterday, I'll be honest with you, it was just me and Tony trying to figure out how to do this and the best way to do this. It would have just been a lot of him and I talking and then maybe cussing, so it probably wasn't the best for video. However, today, it's just going to be me, and I'm going to have my handy tripod out, and I'm going to get that ready to go and hook up the camera. And I'm going to show you guys, kind of as I do the rest of the cabin studs, once I figure out just exactly what those need to be, just where they're going to go, how we're going to input them, and all that. So, that's where we're at. Pretty exciting stuff, I know, right? From here on out, it's going to be kind of like framing a house, but it'll be like framing a house on a boat, because once again, there are a lot more angles you have to contend to than if you were just nailing or screwing into a top and bottom plate on 2x4s. But that's okay. That's quite alright. We'll deal with it. Alrighty guys, well that's where we're at for now, and I'll catch you guys back up here in a little bit when we get a little bit more done, or at least when we're on our way. Well, as promised, we're back, and well, wouldn't you know it, I have the piece of timber upside down. But anyway, just kind of showing you what we're doing. So we're going through and I'm cutting notches along the shear here, so that these timbers, these right here, for the cabin posts, actually sit nice, and they're actually good and embedded into the into the shear. To help with that, of course, is, as the plans called for, a lag screw. Now the thing is that being I got 3-inch lag screws, so I had to go ahead and countersink it a little bit to receive that, which no big deal. It'll function just fine. And of course, here at the end, which I will show you here shortly. Ah, yes. I went ahead and cut the bevel on the bottom of our post to match the hull, the bevel on the bottom of the hull. And then I also notched it to receive the, so it sits on top of the chine log, and it's epoxied into the chine log. So real sturdy stuff, but that's kind of what I've been doing. I've also numbered them, like for instance, this is 2 right here. This is post position 2 for the cabin on the port side, and if I can show you, it says 2 there, so I'm going to match, and of course that one says 1, and it's the same story. So I'm going to continue kind of doing that. That's kind of the way we're going to go. And I've got the position 3 over there lined up and marked out and ready to rock. So I'm going to go over there and finish kind of prepping the area to receive the post. But that's where we're at. And then when I get over to position 4, which will be like right around in here somewhere, I'll have you on the tripod, and I can kind of walk you through how I do it. So yeah, but that's kind of where we're at right now in a nutshell. And I will show you here a little bit, a little bit more in the future. Oh, my lovely wife came out here and ripped these down for me. They're usually 2x4s, obviously pressure treated 2x4s, but the plans call for something around like a 2x3. So I went ahead and ripped off, a little bit to make it 3 inches. No big deal, but being that doing that on the table saw requires 2 people, and my lovely wife was awesome enough to come out here and give me a hand. So that's kind of where we stand, and I will, like I said, here in a little bit, I'll go ahead and fill you more in, or you'll actually get to see me do post 4, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. And yeah, so there's that. Well, hey everybody. Now that I've got you set up to where you can actually kind of see where I'm going to go next, and this is going to be right here. This is going to be post 4, 4 of 6. So we're damn near done. Well, at least the prep work for the cabin studs for the windows. So that's what I just did. I just took that mark there, and I got that mark by measuring it off of the forward one, the one just slightly forward of it. And measuring all the way back using my tape measure, and struck it at 2 feet 2 inches, or 26 inches, which is what the plans call for the windows. So what I've done now is, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and strike a line right down the shear, straight down from this mark, and that'll go ahead and give me the position for the next post. And then what I'll do is I'll bring the post over, strike a line up the other side, and then I'm going to cut this bit out. That way you can see that what we're doing is we're creating a recess for the post to sit in on the shear. It should make it a little stronger. That with the lag screws and the epoxy should really help stiffen it up some. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me go get my stuff, and then we'll get right to it. Well, as you can now see plainly, we have the cabin studs in place, thanks to the aid of my lovely wife, who came out here to help me, attach them. Wow, that was kind of a pain getting those, getting the angles right on the bottom. That just turned out to be more cutting fitting than I originally anticipated, so that took a little longer. So I don't know if you can see or not, but right down there, and then of course right down here. Very, very time consuming. Up here I decided to not use epoxy, and this is actually a exterior construction adhesive. I think it'll be just fine. They even said on the tube that it comes in that it doesn't need to be, that you don't need to have great clamping pressure, and doesn't need to be a perfect fit, which is good because yeah, that's just real good. So we have the clamps on there for now, just kind of helping them hold in place so they don't want to kick out. That's really seemed to help. And we're just letting the epoxy and the construction adhesive set. I also went ahead and ran in, oh, you can't really see on this one, but on that one you can. I ran in the lag screws that go in from the stud all the way into the shear clamp. So that's good. So we're good to go there. What's up next is we're going to extend from here back. We're going to work on more of the studs. Now these studs that we're going to put up are going to be nearly this big. The plans don't call for it. The reason these are that big is because these are all up here is basically big picture windows. So that's what these are going to be. And that's why those studs need to be very big to support that. But here aft, it doesn't need to be very thick, and so therefore it should go a lot easier, and I shouldn't need as much help, which is good, because for the most part, it's just a one-man operation out here. So that'll wrap up this time. Once again, pretty neat though. Now that you can kind of see the cabin coming together. That's wow. That's talk about a footnote, huh? Well, until next time, guys. You know, I guess I'll see you then. Well, hey everybody. It's been a few days since I last tried to shoot some of that video showing you about those cabin studs, or the cabin studs along the port and starboard side. Well, as you can guess, probably by the view in the video, that they are up. And I was unable to really show you how I fitted the bottoms of the posts so that they set over the chine log like I wanted to. My camera, when I went to edit that piece of video, it was garbage. The rate of the actual footage versus the rate of the sound was way off, and I tried to play with it, and there's nothing I could do to fix it. So this is why I'm inserting this in there, to kind of explain that to you and to apologize, because, well, it is what it is, and I'm sorry. But next on the docket, next video, we're going to continue the march of the cabin studs towards this bulkhead right here. And we're going to go ahead and line them up and get them ready to go, just like we had on the forward ones, except these are going to be a little smaller, because that's what the plans call for. So FYI, just letting everybody know that that's kind of what's going on. And once again, I do apologize that it didn't work out. However, I'm just not very savvy with a lot of this technical crap, unfortunately. So there's that. Anyways, I appreciate your patience and sticking with me, and I will catch you guys up when there's more to catch up on.